The question is why did the Pharisees want to stone Jesus? Why did they want to shut him up? Why? What was their motivation? And so we see it. Well, we see it in all of the Gospels. And so, short answer: unbelief. Okay, for that. I love it. Short answer is unbelief. Okay. Now, but why though? There's several. When I say several possible reasons. Okay, we have all of the people that we have in here this morning. Okay, I don't know why you may not believe. And your unbelief may be different than from somebody else's unbelief. The motivation behind it. But at the end of the day, it is still unbelief. Now, in the Gospel of John, Jesus makes this statement to the Pharisees. He says, "How can you believe," this is paraphrasing, "that desire the praise of men?" In other words, what prompted that group of Pharisees was their desire to receive the praise from other people. They wanted to not to be worshipped, but they wanted that recognition from others. And so that prompted within them unbelief. Okay, now, a question though that I have, and you don't have to answer this, but for you to think about, and for me, what is unbelief though? What is unbelief? Now, belief in the Bible, faith, and I've said this before, and this is to help clarify. So to live by faith, we preached it from Habakkuk a few weeks. What does it mean to live by faith? This does not mean to live by faith. Okay, you see, I got my eyes closed and I'm feeling around. That is not faith. Okay, that's being blind. Okay, faith is looking. Okay, so Brother Chris is teaching from John in the men's class, and Jesus said this over and over: "Believe the works, believe the works, believe the works." Now, what is that? Works are evidence. Okay? It's something they could see. And they were to believe what they saw about Jesus. And so that's what faith is. It's believing the evidence that is before us. The evidence that we see. Now, so Brother Chris's question is, so why didn't the Pharisees, why do they always want to stone him? It's because of, he mentioned it this morning in John 10, he says this, and Brother Chris taught this morning, "I told you and ye believed not. The works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me." And all through the Gospels, Jesus tells them, he says this a couple times, "You know who I am, but you don't believe me." They were refusing to take a step of acceptance of Jesus, if that makes sense. Why did they do that? The hardness of their heart, the Bible tells us. They simply rejected Jesus as the Messiah. And that's why. And they wanted to shut him up. Why do they want to shut him up? Because so many people were following him and beginning to see the Pharisees for who they were. And we see that in our society, you know. Shut them up. Don't let them speak. Shut them down. We don't want them to hear. And Jesus never does that, of course. So I hope that answers the question, why? Because of unbelief. And why they want to shut him up? Because so many people were following him and they were beginning to see the Pharisees for who they were. And he was calling them out. And so when you read the Gospels, there's a lot of things there's a lot of layers. It's not just always one thing. But I hope that helps.